This is likely a hail core right in here, Eric, with these intense colors. Look at this, cloud top's very high. And we did hear that report at the gas station of some hail falling. You could actually audibly hear that on the phone line. So again, there is going to be some hail with that, but on the south side is where the rotation is indicated with these shear markers here. And you had mentioned that, yes, on shear vision even, we're seeing numbers of 7. And a 7 does mean that there could be a tornado on the ground at that point. So some pretty high numbers as we watch a really intense storm here, generally taking that movement off towards the east. Also want to follow up that we're now monitoring, or I'm monitoring, our weather Facebook page for you. You can type in ONN weather if you have questions for us on the fly. I'll try to get to that. So comment on our statuses if you have any questions you'd like Eric and I to discuss for you while we're on. But of course, right here it looks like a pretty, well, interesting situation right now with potential tornado formation, Eric. Right, so I'm just showing Eric right now. We're looking at our indicators here. Notice we had a 7 just a minute ago. So there is that increasing probability of that tornado. That would be what that means as we look at shear vision. Again, Eric, these colors are very vibrant. We're still seeing the 5-6 range, so certainly likely some rotation, and certainly likely of a potential touchdown at any time when we see numbers this high just on the south side of Findlay. That's intense rotation where the reds indicate winds blowing in one direction, greens, the vibrant greens, winds in another direction. When you see that, oftentimes some very organized rotation, you can tell based on that. That is a very telling picture, Eric. I can just see and analyze by the look on your face at this point. You want to go to the basement. If you're in Findlay, you need to shelter right now. Go down to the lowest floor of your home, basement if you have it, away from those windows and doors. So this is why we want to go ahead and shelter in the Fostoria area and headed in this general direction here. You look at this view of the cell, a fairly classic look. Again, a strong indication of some rotation. We've got hail on the north side of this, and then down south it appears, as you saw from the velocity product, we've got the reds and the greens next to each other, so some strong rotation. This is a very classic look for what could be a tornado that is on the ground and stays on the ground for a while. Again, we did just get that report of a tornado near the Arcadia area in Hancock County. That'll be moving off to the northeast, though, about 40 miles an hour. And just based on the cell alone and the velocity that we were eyeing and analyzing here in the Weather Center, this is one of those storms that could keep a tornado on the ground for a little while, which would be where the hail core is between North Baltimore and Fostoria. Again, tornado at this point or just points a little bit further southward. So keep an eye on that. Head to your basement. If you need to, turn the television all the way up. We'll talk to you as we go through this storm and as we track this tornado warning for you, to allow you to be able to hear the most up-to-date information while you're sheltered in a safe place. Again, if you don't have a basement, you need to go to an interior room away from the windows and doors. Take the pillows or maybe a blanket to put over yourself or the children as you shelter in place through this tornado warning, Eric. Right in through here, north of Trenton here, as we look south of Camden, that's in Preble County, over into Warren County. Right in the northwest corner, you can see how there's some intense inflow and hanging down on this cell. But it's right in here where you're going to get that rising motion, that lift, that push in, where we could spark some rotation. And notice this right in here, it's hard to see it, is the Montgomery County, Warren County line. And as we expand a bit, we're looking well south of Miamisburg, right on the north side of Trenton here. That's near Jacksonburg, and moving off towards the north and the east really quickly, Eric.
All right.
Another report of the rotating wall cloud that's still in Warren County here. We're looking at the rotating wall cloud. It's 1 mile north of the Royal Springs Estates. That's in Warren County, as mentioned. It's a large, ragged wall cloud 4 miles west of this spotter's location. Yeah, he did mention that rotation is observed with the wall cloud. It is 1 mile north of Royal Springs Estates, Ohio. That's in Warren County.
Okay, Warren County. Real quick before I go over, let me read this information. National Weather Service now showing a tornado near Jacksonburg, which is what Harrison had just mentioned.
And we'll look right in this general area. Right in here is where I'm picking up some strong rotation. That's north of Akron, but south of Richfield here. This is northern Summit County as it's moving slowly off to the east. And we're picking up some flow coming in right in here. And this would be the area on the product that I'm looking at of some potential rotation up in the sky. Now, a little earlier, it was indicating some real low-level rotation. I don't have that anymore, but still, just based on the formation and the reflectivity out there, and plus the history with these storms we've seen today, certainly a chance to put something on the ground. You got to take cover now.
Yeah.
You're right. As we turn our attention back to the other storm, I've got strong rotation now. That's in Summit County, the northern part of Summit County between Macedonia and Boston Heights, right near Boston Heights, moving off towards the east. Some stronger low-level rotation showing up yet again. That is on the leading edge of this particular storm system with the hail core right behind it, just to the west between Boston Heights, Macedonia. Some low-level rotation picked up here. Yes, we have a funnel cloud that's now reported near Cuyahoga Falls. So trained weather spotters report a funnel cloud near Cuyahoga Falls. Rotation moving east at 25 miles an hour. Let's see if that's in the area that we were eyeing a little earlier. Indeed, it's close enough. Cuyahoga Falls, again, south of Macedonia, south of Boston Heights, but right in that general corridor is where the strongest rotation is.
Yeah, I think.
Temperatures have remained below freezing all day in Columbus, and that just means any freezing rain and ice on untreated surfaces from this morning is still around this afternoon. You can see layers of ice here. We also have a layer of ice on some trees. We'll see an additional glaze of ice coming with this second wave of moisture, but just how much depends on the winds. Right now, a light northeasterly breeze has kept us cool, but a wind shift out of the southeast tonight will allow temperatures to rise and convert us from the freezing rain to just rain, hopefully melting some of that ice that's on trees, on cars, and most importantly, on power poles. Reporting in Columbus, Harrison Hove, the Ohio News Network. The Allen project to fix problems in Grand Lake St. Mary's water is making history.
This is one of the largest lake projects that's been done in the country.
The goal is to increase clarity in the lake and reduce the phosphorus levels. If successful, much of the algae will die and the lake will be healthier and vibrant. The Ohio Department of Natural Resources awarded the $3.5 million contract to clean up Grand Lake to HAB Aquatic Solutions, a company from Nebraska. While they outbid two Ohio-based companies, they're hiring Ohio workers whenever possible.
We had well over 12 individuals on site during the mobilization process, and those folks will come back for demobilization.
The Allen product sprayed into the lake comes from an Ohio-based company with plants in Ashtabula, Fairfield, and Gahanna. The alum treatment and scientific research brings a new hope to Grand Lake St. Mary's residents.
Aluminum sulfate has been well documented and scientifically proven to lower phosphorus conditions.
But there's more to this story. The initial aluminum sulfate trials done at Grand Lake St. Mary's didn't give the results the Ohio EPA was hoping for. That was last fall, and the trials were inconsistent. Even in the most successful trial, the phosphorus level wasn't reduced as much as they had hoped and didn't show long-term improvement in water clarity. Tetra Tech is the company who ran those trials. They recommended that a new trial be done in the spring before the algae started to bloom. That analysis still isn't complete. The Ohio Department of Natural Resources moved forward with the large-scale 4,900-acre lake treatment without results from the spring trial. They also cut the project from Tetra Tech's recommended full lake treatment to one about a third of that size. To read the Tetra Tech report with recommendations and findings from the first alum trials, just log on to our website, onntv.com, and click that Green Ohio link. For Green Ohio, Harrison Hove, the Ohio News Network. So we have a severe weather threat through Wednesday here, and it's going to look like this. Today, we've got that slight risk for some severe weather across our state. There will be the isolated cluster of thunderstorms that pop. Now, tomorrow, the line has to go through, so that would be more of a damaging wind threat as a moderate risk really closes in on southern Ohio. We have more of a jetting out feature right in through central Ohio. So this is where the damaging winds would be occurring as the winds push this line out. These storm cells are not higher than 20,000 feet, so very low. When we look at severe weather, oftentimes huge cloud tops, but not in this case, and we can tell that based on the color and shading of this radar imagery here. We've got light shades of green over Toledo and over Lucas County, so to me that would indicate a chance of a weaker tornado, a weak circulation here, a very low topped storm heading due north, racing northward, and of course it is going to clear that Michigan border here soon enough. I said I was looking for lima bean shaped things or even a cell with a hook, but it doesn't exist. So this would be a weaker tornado if it were to go on the ground. But right now, no reports of a tornado at all, just circulation up in the sky, according to the National Weather Service office in Cleveland.